or attempt to make this video because apparently the first one did not work, but it is what it is, technology. So anyways, just to kind of review what we've been doing, we've obviously been learning about town meeting, Vermont town meeting. And so we looked specifically at what it looks like, what it sounds like, how it works. You should know what a moderator is. You should know what a warning is. You should have just a general sense of what town meeting is all about. What we're transitioning into now is kind of critically thinking about town meeting, and the ultimate question that's going to take shape in the form of an essay is, does traditional town meeting have a future in Vermont? So does it still do all the things it has to do, and is there even like create community, build community and stuff of that nature, or are we past that? Do our lives changed in the fact that there isn't any place for it? And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to post the essay prompt so you can peruse it. And what we're going to do over the next couple days is read a couple articles to help give us information. So again, we're looking, the best way to create a convincing argument is, of course, to have actual facts behind it, which is, maybe not as applicable in modern politics today, but it's still the best way. If you beat somebody with facts. So what we want to do is the skill we're targeting, the transferable skill, is accessing and analyzing information. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the first part of this article, which is one of our main articles to help us generate some facts. So what we're trying to do is take this article and draw from it information that will help write an essay. In addition to that, being able to read for information is a vital skill. So again, the transferable skill is accessing and analyzing information. In addition, I want to show you a few ways in which you can use Google Docs to help you kind of organize information depending on what you want. So the other thing I want to put out there is that I've changed my office hours. Office hours are now Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 2. So if you need me, do not hesitate to reach out, again, either through a Google Hangout or Google Meet, or you can obviously text me via Remind, email me, or if you call my school phone, it'll go to my home phone. So let me know if you need anything. All right. So this article is a really interesting article. It's obviously written in 2013. It was written by the editor of the Times-Argus, which is one of the bigger papers in the state of Vermont. It's in Barre, Montpelier. So I'll read for you the first part, and then what we want to do is what's the thesis. So again, the thesis or a focus statement is kind of where is this article going to take us? And obviously developing a good thesis is important. So I'm going to make a motion. I know it'll eventually get a second and plenty of discussion. In the end, I expect it will fail. My motion is this. I move that all town and school budgets, as well as election of local officers across Vermont, be decided by Australian ballot, hereby ending the traditional town meeting as we know it. For real, once and for all, it's a relic and its worn out parts are really starting to show. So what this author did, of course, this writer, he framed his argument within the context of town meeting, right? It sounds like somebody's making a motion, blah, 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 which is kind of a clever way to do it. So now, just a couple ways in which you can use this document or use the technology of Google Docs to help you kind of figure this out. One is the highlight. So what you do is if you actually highlight the video and click on this icon right here, usually yellow, you can highlight the major point. So that helps. And obviously, if you haven't figured it out, this guy is clearly against traditional town meeting, right? Hereby ending traditional town meeting as we know it. Another strategy you can use if you want to get information or the major points is you can underline. And you can do those, obviously. The other one you can do, if those of you who want to annotate, which again, normally you would do this by hand and mark up the document, but in this case, you can either slide over here and click the add comment, or you can do a Control Alt M, and a comment can be there. Okay? The last way, which is up to you, is to create, I'll have a blank document that I'll share with you today, like in just a little while, which will have, which you can put the information in. Now, what I need from you by tomorrow before we start class or before we meet, is something that shows me that you've read this. So whether you reshare this document with me, or you have a written, a written part, whatever. Just as an FYI, it seemed like there was some misunderstanding. I sent out a blanket email to both Vermont Studies classes. Obviously, if you're in second block, then we meet at 10. If you're in fourth block, we meet at 2. And that'll be tomorrow. That's Wednesday. So you have a couple, you have a little bit of time to do this. So anyways, let's get into the first part of this article. I am fully aware of the role that town meeting plays in Vermont's democratic process. I know it is based in tradition and exemplifies community. It has been called one of the purest forms of democracy. I get that it is a process exclusive to New England and demonstrates and celebrates our uniqueness. There was a good reason for Norman Rockwell included an iconic image of a man speaking at a Vermont town meeting in a freedom of speech, one of his now famous 4 freedoms. That's the poster, by the way, I have in my classroom. So what he's doing is he's validating, which means he's saying, here are the reasons why people think town meeting are great, right? It's tradition, so it's history, right? It builds community, which these are all things we should know. And it's one of the purest forms of democracy. Again, something we should recognize. And it's unique. So again, it's one thing to read something. It's another thing to think about what they're saying. And it's even more difficult to put that into your own words. And that's a really important skill that I think people should have. But Norman Rockwell's time has come and gone, and as much as we love to cling to our sense of community, a few hours on the first Tuesday of March is as forced a commitment to our friends and fellow neighbors as writing our Christmas cards each holiday. So again, what he's saying, to summarize that, is that basically times have changed, and it's a forced commitment, meaning it's something we feel we have to do. And again, that's a really hard word. That's a hard way to rephrase that. The act of town meeting seems to make participants feel involved, and for them, the rest of the reset button gets pushed for another year of good citizenship. Don't worry, I can read. I'm just reading too fast. So again, what he's saying is that town meeting is once a year, and people go to it and feel like they've done their civic duty. Essentially, they feel like they're active participants because they show up to one meeting a year. And then he goes on to say, decisions are made by those who show up. That's a really great idea. It's truly admirable, but it's political theorem. Citizens need to show up well before the town meeting day vote, during budget discussions and public hearings. Responsible voters do their due diligence. Anything less is simple grandstanding and theater, and usually not good theater at that. So what he's saying there is you need to participate in more than just town meeting. There are other meetings, like budgets, etc. Okay? So what you could also do, which I haven't actually done this yet, so I'll do it quick, is, the other form, the other way you can do it is to just create a doc, which I will have for you. In fact, this will probably be it. And then list these points on that doc as we've done before. So, and again, I like the bullet points personally, which, whatever floats your boat. So basically those are that's what I want you to do. So I've given you a couple methods, so you can underline, you can highlight, you can annotate, or you can simply take notes. And what I want you to do is go through this and what are his major points. He is clearly opposed to traditional town meeting. Why? What are his big points? And what we'll do is we will share our points. So I want you to turn them in so I can see that you've actually done it. And then we will meet tomorrow as a group to discuss what we learned. So make sure that everybody's on the same page. So if you have any questions or comments, obviously you can email me, you can contact me all those different ways. I'm around. My son is he's hooked on monster trucks right now, so he's watching a monster truck show from like Allentown, Pennsylvania. Which if you can occasionally hear the dull roar of a monster truck, that's why. All right. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a